Dum, 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 dum,
Space between, space between, space between. Space between.
What's going on? It's the Space Between podcast, where we talk about the space between life and art, passion and business, what's happening now and what's happening next. I'm Pat Shand.
Hi, welcome. I'm Amy Shand.
I'm Shannon Lee.
And our fourth member, Ryan Fassett, right now, he's at the beach. He is, right now, he is...
Getting his suntan on.
He's patrolling the beach with one of those metal detectors.
Why was I thinking that?
For gold.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you might have thought that would be weird to do right now because winter is coming.
It's like
but
40 degrees.
he's out there in his swimming trunks and looking for gold.
Now's the time.
Yeah, gold is rising on the stock market, man. You gotta get it while you can.
It's true. And today, without Ryan, unfortunately... hold on. If you hear a jingle right now,
He wants in.
mine and Amy's cat, a Lynx Point Siamese, a 56-pound.
Fat boy.
He's a fat boy.
basically.
He's actually 20 pounds. He's a Lynx Point Siamese. He is climbing into Amy's lap. No, he's gonna have to get out of here.
Oh no! Specifically, Amy has purchased from the interwebs.
Actually, it was a gift.
Ooh,
for
okay.
My, that's how well my friends and family know me.
Perfect.
Is
perfect.
that what's it called? The bridal shower.
Okay.
I got this at my bridal shower.
Wow,
Can
they know you
believe
very
that?
well.
Tell people what it is.
Yeah, tell them.
Okay, that's sorry, Shannon. It's a sweater with many pouches. It's like a kangaroo sweater. There's a pouch right on the belly where most small animals would fit, like most cats. Not Neil, though.
Neil is not a small animal.
Neil's too big. No.
Yeah.
Baby. He's been very attached to me today.
He's
Remember
loving
earlier?
you. He's loving you.
He's my son.
All right, so while we will do a cat episode, this episode is not about our gigantic son. This episode is about supernatural encounters.
Ooh.
And I, for one, I have had a supernatural encounter.
I'd argue to say a couple.
A couple, you think?
The lady on the
Oh, yeah.
he saw. Well, we don't know if it was a real lady, but there was no other people around, so it could have been a ghost.
Yeah.
Is all.
I once saw...
It's not where you walk.
I'll start this one off just because this is such a short story.
I just want it to be true that it was a ghost.
Me too. I was
Short,
going to...
sweet, and creepy.
Short, sweet, and creepy. And it's weird. I was going to pick up Amy on the way to work, and there was a woman walking the street in colonial clothing, barefoot on the side of the highway.
Get the fuck out of
Like,
here.
And-
not a hiking trail.
Yeah, I'm not talking like Sunrise Highway for those who know what's going on with Long Island. I mean the Long Island Expressway, right? Like you go 55 miles per hour. There are no lights. She's walking on the side of that bitch. Like what could she have
Did
been
she
doing?
look lost, or did you not see her face?
It looked like she was up to some ghost business. You know, like how ghosts
Out ghosting.
Yeah, she was out ghosting. She was just
Ghosting around.
it seemed like she was just going about her life. But who goes about their life walking on the expressway
in that outfit.
in that
No
outfit?
shoes.
You know,
That's
she
very
might have
interesting.
right. She might have just been like playing ghost though. It maybe wasn't a real ghost. Maybe it was just someone who was pretending to be a ghost for some fun. Because that is some ghost shit to
But
do.
this wasn't
It
during any
wasn't
type of
around
holiday.
like Halloween.
Yeah.
It was before.
No, it was before Halloween. And yeah, the clothing situation too was a bit much for the weather. It isn't what I would wear. I mean, I wouldn't wear colonial clothing in
general.
any situation.
That's not in your closet, you know.
but
it's
much less.
not a go-to.
No, it's not on my go-to. Yeah, but yeah, much less in the middle of summer would I be walking barefoot, scorching. Her feet were probably fucked up.
She was walking in the dirt,
So
though.
weird.
Yeah, but the dirt's hot.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah,
So we're talking daytime.
Yeah.
yeah, this is during the day.
I was picturing at night to get, the spooky feel.
Oh, to get the mood going
Yeah.
on. No, this ghost doesn't give a fuck about the mood.
So yeah, you completely
still was
could
pretty
see what
empty,
she
yeah.
had on. and
I saw the
everything.
whole shit. She had like the head bandana, a whole get up, and she was just going about her ghost business. Whether she's a ghost or not, her business was decidedly ghost-like. Yeah.
And you weren't near any type of, I don't know, someplace where you think she would have came from?
No, because the only thing nearby was the exit leading to Amy's job.
Wow.
And by Amy's job, all right, it's mostly just stores, right?
Yeah.
There are shopping centers.
The exit leads right to the mall.
Yeah, shopping centers, malls. There is an unfortunate statue, a gargantuan, towering statue of a Native American giving what can only be described as a Nazi
like
salute.
10 feet
God.
tall.
He's more than 10 feet tall.
He's huge.
He's gigantic.
And he has like a feather head garment.
And it doesn't seem like something that a person of color made. It seems like something that a white person made.
Yeah,
And-
most likely.
Yeah, it's just like,
Along the lines of Modern Fruteria.
yeah, oh yeah, modern. I should ask you, Shannon. Have you heard of what's going on with Modern Fruiteria?
No, I don't know what that is.
And I'm not putting an accent on it because the person who created it can't put an accent on it.
Okay.
So
And
Amy's
my
the
accent
one.
was horrible, sorry.
Amy's the one who actually told me about this. So I'm gonna let you take it away.
Okay, so there's a young woman who has done much traveling on, I don't know whose
Whose dime?
expense. Could be hers for whatever reason. Could be her parents, most likely. But anyway, she's a young, like thin, blonde, pretty woman who has done much traveling abroad and eaten many exotic foods and wanted to like start her own restaurant.
Okay.
So she went to my hometown of San Diego into an area called Barrio Logan,
Okay.
which is very rich in like Mexican culture, and she wanted to and started a Kickstarter. She wanted to start this fruiteria, which like she had these things called like wellness lattes, which were just like fruit juices in mugs.
That's
garnished
just like a
with-
smoothie.
It was like a smoothie bar that she decorated in like Mexican. I don't even know.
And there's
the
a specific
Kickstarter
word
was so
for fruit
cringy.
in Mexican that isn't fruiteria.
I don't even know,
but
yo. And
was
she
wild.
had this Kickstarter that was like so bad. I think her goal was like $35,000, but she raised like $712 or something,
Aw.
$800, and she had no idea that she was being racist, but it was so bad.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
And the campaign didn't even end. She canceled that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, she got the backlash and she canceled it.
Yeah.
Like Twitter went off.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, we watched a YouTube
Her
video.
dreams are done.
It was pretty. Yeah, her dreams are done. That's the one thing. Like, it's cringy on two levels. Because one, you see this video where she clearly has no idea what she's doing.
Yeah, she's oblivious. I
Right.
can already hear it. Yeah.
But two, she's so excited and
And
positive.
she has like these floor plans drawn out, and she looks like
Oh
you know,
yeah, the shot of her
It's so
leaning over the
sad.
floor plans was a little heartbreaking, you know.
It's
but
like she's like, I did everything by myself. When if she just asked one person like outside of her immediate family or friend group
or it's just someone
or
non-white.
anyone, yeah.
Just ask
well,
one person who isn't
that
white.
means someone outside of her immediate family or friend group.
Right. True.
So
Definitely, yeah.
you know.
So that's what happened to her, and we just had to cover that just because that was such a weird.
it's recent news.
Yes,
you know?
it's
Yeah,
recent news, but let's not derail too much. I do want to focus on some of the supernatural goings on in our lives because I feel like Shannon, you've had none. You said right.
I mean, nothing that I can think of just right off the bat. I mean, I mentioned in the last episode that I do feel like my house was haunted, my
Oh
childhood
yeah,
house.
that's right.
But like, I can't narrow it down to experiences. It's kind of more just like I felt like a presence in that house. Like I couldn't sleep in that house at all. It's like I grew up having complete insomnia over it. I mean, in general, I was a scaredy cat of a kid and like scared of the dark, but like I don't know. I just like never felt
Maybe it
comfortable.
stemmed from your house.
Yeah, because as soon as I would sleep at someone else's house, I would be fine.
Yeah.
When we moved from that house, I was completely fine. I still to this day, I don't have a problem in the dark in a different house or
Right.
like sleeping or anything. Like something about that house had such bad vibes. And yeah, I don't know. I kind of felt like it was like a young girl because like I was bothered by it, like my parents weren't, and it's like I felt like because I grew up there, like that, I don't know, it like latched on to me if
That's
it's like a spirit or something.
Fucking horrifying.
Yeah, because I could feel, I felt like that person's craziness thoughts or like pain or something. It was really weird. I felt like I was like disturbed in a weird way.
Did you ever look into the history of the house and see if any fucked up shit
No,
happened
but
there?
I wanted to. I tried to
What
look up.
town was it in?
I can't say.
Or
the
sorry,
town,
I'm
but,
sorry.
like,
I
I'm
always
on
think
Long
we're having a
Island.
private
Yeah.
conversation. So I'm like, ooh, tell me more.
Amy's getting
But
real
yeah,
personal.
Later on, I'm about to freaking
I'm on
investigate. Best
555
believe.
Drive.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just so interested.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but I looked up the town hall and stuff and tried to see if I would be able to figure out the history of that house. But it was like I would have had to go there and like really try and dive in, and I didn't know if I wanted to know. You know, I mean,
word.
I did,
That's true.
I knew
That's
people
true.
in my town, like a block or something down. Like, well, actually, there's at least 2 houses in my town where people, you know, committed suicide in those houses, and then I had friends that would move into those houses and like would
Fuck
meet at bus
that.
stops, and I'd know who they were, and it'd be
No.
like, what happens in your house? Like, I didn't even talk about it with one of the people because I'm like, I don't want to break the news. Do they know? Do they not know?
Imagine.
that
the
this
rest
happened?
of their childhood is like
That's
fucked
it.
because
Yeah.
you
That's
told
it.
them.
Yeah, exactly. So we kept it to ourselves, but like,
That was polite
I
of
don't
you.
know. Yeah. They probably knew the history, but definitely, who knows? Once a house is like, I don't know, to me, like tainted like that, it's like, I
No,
definitely
yeah.
believe in spirits or ghosts
Or lingering
something.
energy,
Yeah, that's
right?
what it is. It's lingering energy.
That's what I
'cause-
love about this apartment complex being brand spanking new. Like,
Ooh,
we're
yeah.
the first people to have lived here.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask you about that, because I too had similar feelings of dread in my childhood home, and there was a time when my grandma had dementia and she was living with us. She would get up out of bed and go to the door that leads out to the back area, which we call the patio, but it's indoors. And that area at night when no one else was there would creep me out. And she would say that she heard people calling to her from there, and that people are gathered out there, in there.
Oh, boy.
And that fucked my shit up. But that leads me to this question for you, because I felt a certain way about this. In your house, were there areas of safety that you could run to?
I kind of think my answer is no to that. Like,
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I felt like there was just too many creepy parts of the house.
Right.
And it's like, to someone else maybe it wouldn't look creepy, but like at night, like I'd have to go from the bathroom to my room, and it was a long ass hallway.
Right,
And I would turn all the lights on and then shut them off like one by one, because I had to have some light
Like, as you were
guiding
going?
my way. Yeah.
Yes,
Or if
definitely.
they were all shut off already by my mom or something, I would run, and my mom would hear me like bump bump bump, like running, and then like slam my door, because like, I don't know, I just thought something was coming to get me. And I
Yeah.
have to sleep
too.
with a door closed too. At
Closed,
that house. Yeah,
okay.
because if the door was open in the dark, if I opened my eyes, I thought I would start to see things,
Right.
which was
Coming in.
probably just like my eyes tricking me, but
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know, at the same time I felt like I would see shadows like coming
God
to my
damn.
room, and my bed, which like, I don't know why this is like a thing, like my bed was in the center of the room, which I will never do again. I'd
That's weird.
rather be up against the wall.
That isn't a regular place
Yeah,
for the bed.
I don't know,
No.
especially as a kid. Like, usually
It's like
a
an
kid-
island in your
yeah.
room.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
That's
would
weird.
like build a wall around me, like with stuffed animals or pillows or blankets, so I felt like safe, because I was like, I could be attacked at all sides. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why we didn't change that in my room. I was so freaking scared.
Now, did you sleep in perfect darkness, or did you have like a little
I
light
had
on?
night lights, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Gotta have a night light.
Yep, definitely had night lights.
I mean, Amy will tell you now, she goes to work early in the morning.
When it's still dark, yeah.
It's still dark, and I'm there. Sometimes I'm just going to bed as she gets up because I'm writing all night. Or sometimes I'll wake up and say goodbye to her. I don't want Amy to leave me in a pitch black house.
Yeah.
I mean, still, as a 30-year-old ancient man, it scares me. But I think that one of the scariest things I've heard about a ghost in the house, just because this seems so real, is, Amy, your story of your supernatural encounter. And I think that you might have a few. I'm not quite sure, but this one, the specific one, kind of gets me.
When I was in the bathroom.
Yes. Oh, Christ.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, as time goes on, it gets like less and less like potent, I feel like.
Yeah.
But it was very like strange because I was standing at the bathroom sink, and it wasn't my apartment, someone else's, and I was like looking into the mirror in the sink, and then all of a sudden I couldn't like see anyone in the mirror, but behind my back I could like feel a presence.
Oh, Lordy.
So much, and it like really scared me, and I turned around and I just, like you get a feeling, and it's like they bumped into me, so I turned around to see. Super duper scary, and I went out and told the people in the living room about what it was, and as I was like talking about it, I like couldn't bring words to what I was saying. Like I couldn't finish my sentence, and I ended up like passing out on the floor.
That ghost was like, shut the fuck up. Don't spoil my secret, okay?
It was really weird.
Oh
And
my
they were
God.
like, it was only for a minute, and they were like yelling my name and everything, and they didn't call an ambulance or anything because it was so fast, and I like explained to them what happened, but it was very strange.
You got shook.
Yeah.
You
it was
really did.
weird.
Damn.
That's very scary to me.
That is incredibly scary. And I like that's a well-known thing of like, well, feeling a cold breeze go past you, or
Right.
like, yeah, I don't know, a touch or something.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh,
Oof.
very
Yeah, because
creepy.
that feeling of bumping into someone is unmistakable. So the fact that you are describing it as that makes me believe it even more.
Yeah, it was just weird because all of a sudden, because the bathroom was small, so then all of a sudden I felt like I wasn't the only person in there,
Absolutely. The thing that people always do when they hear stories like this is try to rationalize it. They think, oh, this could have happened. It could have been a physical reaction, something that you were about to faint. It was your body just reacting to the trauma of whatever was happening. But sometimes I'm just like, yeah, but ghost. You know?
I feel you.
Like earlier, I was listening to a podcast, a true crime podcast that I love.
Call them out.
My Favorite Murder, Karen in Georgia. I love them. We were listening to one about someone who, her family thought that she was possessed, and it was a bummer because they refused to get like actual medical treatment for her for the longest time. I think up until she died, they just swore that she was possessed, and we were hearing the things that she was doing, like as a 20-year-old woman, a young woman, and Pat turns to me and goes, "What if she was just possessed?"
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, oh my
And
God.
I'm thinking like, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, the whole takeaway is supposed to be we should take mental health seriously, right?
Yes.
And we should.
Right.
But this story was on
Off
some
the charts.
fuck shit.
That's what I
my
fucking
God.
I don't
love
know.
about this podcast.
I don't know. I think she could have been possessed. But
Well, the exorcism didn't work. I'll tell you that much.
hold on. What else didn't work? They tried what? Fucking 67 exorcisms?
In the
my
course of like
God.
10 months, they tried her family and like the priest that would finally agree to do it in secrecy.
So much for that shit. We're talking about it now.
Exorcised her 67 times.
Oh my
something.
God.
To me, that priest is an asshole, though.
Oh yeah.
Either he's all right, either he knows that she's not possessed and took advantage, or he's the worst goddamn exorcist of all time.
Yeah.
67 times?
I mean,
Horrible.
was it different people that tried?
I don't think so.
Oh my god.
Because a lot of people, she was taken to a lot of priests. Like the family was very convinced that it was a religious thing instead of, medical. And so several priests before were like, you need to take her to a doctor. And they were like, no. And then finally they take her to someone who's like, yeah, I'll do this, but you can't tell anyone. And they're like, all right.
Sounds
I'm
safe.
down.
Safe and legal.
So, yeah.
I would say after 5 failed exorcism attempts, give that priest a bad Yelp review and move on from that motherfucker.
just leave.
Move to a different priest.
Those exorcism Yelp reviews.
Try
Oh
someone
my
else,
God,
you
should
know?
we search exorcisms on Yelp?
Oh my God. See, I'd be scared to know. Because
Right?
it's for sure out there. Everything's out
Oh,
there.
clearly. We're talking about it now. It's not fake.
It's true.
I mean, I think that was like earlier on in history, I want to say. I don't know. I literally don't know.
I do want to take this opportunity, since we're talking about
Sorry.
supernatural occurrences, to just remind our audience that we have no sponsors right now. But I tried a delicious drink recently.
I
All right,
know.
Oh my God.
here we
what
go.
is it?
Here we go. Monster. You know?
Oh, that's
All
right.
It's the Monster energy
in
drink.
love.
Everyone knows what that is, but it's the orange variety. Okay, it's orange, and obviously
I found that for him.
Amy
on the
found
shelf.
it because I was.
You're welcome.
I was at CVS and I was looking for an energy drink that wouldn't sabotage my cut.
Do you mind if I light another incense?
Go on. Amy's going to get out of here to light an incense. So if you hear a little ruffle, that's her. But Amy, as I was looking for my normal Monster, which is a light blue, no carb, no sugar, no calorie energy drink, I was dismayed to see that they were out of it. Looked up at Amy, who pointed at 2 drinks and said, that one, no calorie, and that one, no calorie too. My options broadened before my eyes.
Oh my God,
I bought them
that's so
both.
dramatic.
The red one was okay. It was good. I liked it. I even texted Amy. I said, this is good. I didn't know a good goddamn thing because I hadn't tried that orange yet. I popped that motherfucker open, took a sip. I felt like goddamn Kel. Okay?
Pat loves orange soda.
It was so good. It tasted like orange soda because normally everyone knows what you're going to get when you order something diet or no calorie. It's going to taste like some Splenda. It's going to taste like some carcinogens, okay? If that word means what I think it means, that's what it's going to taste like, all right? This orange Monster tasted nothing like that. It tasted like real unhealthy for you orange soda, but it was fine for you.
Are we talking supernatural orange soda?
We're talking supernatural, monstrous.
Supernatural.
And
Because it was no calories.
and let me just reiterate, if you sponsor us,
This is not an ad.
this is the kind of treatment you'll get, okay?
Yeah.
And for the record, this shit's all true. I feel this. I Instagrammed about this drink. I tweeted. I'm on it, okay?
He's on this shit.
Because, hey, watch this. I could do a little heel turn, too. Last episode, talking about the Burger King spicy chicken nuggets.
Oh, shit.
Let me tell you a little story real quick. Burger King, you're on some fuck shit. I went to Burger King yesterday to re-up on the spicy nuggets. As I drove away, I took a little bite of the nugget. Motherfucker wasn't spicy at all. They gave me their regular nuggets.
Ooh.
So
They
Burger
apparently
King,
didn't listen to the podcast.
they didn't listen to the podcast. So Burger King, what I'm going to say to you is that if you want to earn back the chance to sponsor us, hit me with some nuggets.
Yeah, also, I mean, I didn't get to say last time that I'm a vegetarian, and Burger King has a veggie burger.
They do.
But I think they got to step their game up a little bit. I feel like every time I go and get it, it's pretty crispy. But,
It's been sitting there.
Yeah, it's been sitting.
Burger King, what are
Not
you doing?
too many vegetarians are coming through.
I thought
coming
you
through
wanted
that
the
drive-thru.
sponsorship. I thought you wanted it. Turns out you didn't. But before we get too far off the rails, thanks to me, in my bid for a capitalist little boost for our podcast, I have my own supernatural experience. Amy knows this. Shannon, I'm not sure if I told you this one already, but it is taking a bit of a turn from ghosts. I'm talking about some aliens.
Oh boy, aliens.
So, at risk of sounding insane, here's my alien story. And I'm going to throw it all out there because there are factors of this story that will make the inexperienced reader, or listener for that matter, doubt us. And by us, I mean myself and the person who was with me. Because there are factors that might make people think it wasn't, that we were seeing something that wasn't there. But I'm going to throw it all out there, lay the bones bare, and think what you may, okay? So, when I was 18 or so, my friend Laura would sleep over. We'd have little get-togethers. She was... it's kind of weird. She was my best friend Steve's girlfriend, and Laura and I were best friends as well. So she would come over and we would just have these platonic sleepovers. And she would come and she would bring a little sack of weed, and I was just smoking weed for the first time ever. I had never smoked before those sleepovers.
So innocent.
So innocent. And you know what? It was kind of symbolic. Because we had no papers,
Sorry,
right?
this is like a meme, like smokes weed once, sees aliens.
It's true. It's true. See, that's exactly what everyone's gonna think. But check this out, okay?
It's like one of those ads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Weed is a gateway drug to aliens.
Yeah.
This is your brain out weed. It cuts to a picture of me looking at the sky like, ooh, you know. All right. So. The symbolism here, the rich metaphorical symbolism, is that we had no papers, no Dutch, no blunt. We would
No zigzags.
no zigzags. I would take my Goosebumps books. I grew up as a kid reading, and I don't know if you guys read Goosebumps books, but in the back they would have blank pages, just like after the bio,
Why do you
all
think?
that. Just because you had to print books in increments of 4 or 8.
Okay.
So they were just, if they were doing 8, they had a few blanks. So I would rip out a blank and we would roll a little doobie in fucking Goosebumps paper.
Oh my goodness.
So I was smoking my childhood, you know?
Oh my god.
So,
Fucking
Gosh.
rebel over here.
oh yeah, rebel here. So we would go outside, go to the corner. It's around like 2 a.m. right now. Smoke. Come back. In this case, I turned on the oven to bake some fries. Okay, because frying. That was
baking while baked.
Yeah, baking while baked. Because frying
That
while
sounds
baked.
like a great podcast.
Yeah, that should be.
Podcast. Was that on purpose?
No.
Podcast. Ooh,
Baking while baked, a podcast.
that's beautiful. Spin-off coming soon.
Hell yeah, that's my shit.
But yeah, because frying while baked at 18. That's some dangerous shit. That's some house burn down shit. But yeah, so Laura and I, we
During your platonic sleepover.
we put the frozen fries in the oven to bake. We're gonna leave them for like 20 minutes. So we went outside because my parents had this little this city swingy bench,
A
right?
platonic swing.
Amy's putting on this
A
character.
platonic two-person swing.
Amy's putting on this
I just
like
think it's so funny that
jealous character, but she's not that way.
I'm not jealous at all, but it's funny because you're smoking weed
Right.
and you're 18
Right.
and you're on a platonic sleepover. That's like the most innocent part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
All
right, go on.
If you couldn't tell from the story, I would be a virgin for years to come.
Also, yeah. Also, we know Laura to this day, and she's wonderful.
Yeah, she was at our wedding.
And indeed, as weird as it sounds, these sleepovers were indeed platonic.
Indeed platonic. All right, but so we were at the bench, right? On this cushioned, nice bench where you just sit and you think about life.
Right.
And you are just high,
You
okay?
smoke a little weed.
You know what, though? You know what you don't see when you're high? You don't see a goddamn UFO, okay?
Okay.
So we were just talking, and then at once the conversation kind of lulled, and we looked up to the sky. What is in the sky but an aircraft like no other? Okay, it is. It's oval shaped. It is blinking around the sides, headed in a deep downward arc toward the canal where I lived. Okay, it was moving with immense speed in a very smooth arc, and I've had people say when I told them this story that it could have been a blimp. but I don't know what blimp.
No, blimps are not that way. Blimps are like Neil.
Yeah, blimps are like our son Neil. But no, I don't think blimp. I don't think jet. I don't think anything. You know what though? Nowadays, in the modern era, I would say maybe drone. But it was just moving so fast. Like, all right, so I can't show you guys because you're just listening, but hold your hand pointed directly to the sky and then bring it down to your knee like this. 1, 2, 3 at your knee. It was moving across the sky that fast.
Pretty quick, yeah.
Pretty quick. And as soon as we saw it, I looked at Laura and she goes, "Did you just?" And I was like, "Did you just?" Just like,
shit.
you know.
And also, when you're smoking pot as a kid, you don't have shared hallucinations.
Right. You don't have any hallucinations,
Right.
but
Yeah.
much less a shared
Right.
one, right? So here's how serious we were about this. We went inside to watch the news, waiting for the report of the alien invasion.
Oh my god.
They're like, if we saw this and it was so crazy, then it's obviously on the news.
Right.
We have to catch this.
Gotta check it out. And you know what?
And
That
nothing.
report never came. Nothing.
Yeah, that's
And
because
you live to tell the tale, and the next episode we'll be speaking about how we have Men in Black
yeah.
coming to our door.
Right.
I was just gonna say that's because they were trying
Nice
to
to
air
know
it
you
on the
all.
radio
This is
station,
it.
and then the Men in Black came
Yeah.
in and shut that bitch down.
Side story too. We didn't do the fries very well. The fucking fire alarm went
Oh,
off
clearly.
Oh my god.
You guys were distracted by the aliens
by the aliens at our platonic sleepover.
on your platonic, nice, cushioned two-person swing.
Amy, though, I think that Amy is a little bit jealous of me, actually, because Amy is a big fan of aliens.
Oh my god, yes.
Amy
I
wants to
wish
be
I was
abducted.
there with them, with both of them, in fact, to witness this.
Have you had any alien encounters, or?
No, I just wish.
Well,
And I
Pat,
believe I
you-
will.
Yeah, you were saying the other day how, well, like what aliens would think if they actually came to Earth. Like you said, you were
I feel like
driving
they have.
and you saw that truck that just
Oh
had.
yeah.
Yeah, like a regular, like, company
Is
truck.
this something else I'll be jealous of?
No,
No.
you were with me. We had the conversation about this. Watch. All right, so I'll break it down for you guys.
Damn.
I'm no vegan, okay? I'm no vegetarian. I get down on the meat, okay? But there was one day, Amy and I were on the road, and you know how some trucks have entire images plastered on their entire back car? Like just a gigantic image that spans about 4 or 5 cars. Past this one car that was just covered in just red meat, just body parts.
Just raw meat
just raw.
pictures.
Pictures of raw meat, and I rarely even think about the food I'm consuming as a former sentient being. You know, I've somehow tricked myself using this meat eating culture into not thinking that this food once had a thought process. You know, but as we passed this truck, just plastered with dead bodies that were on the way to be, sold for food, I looked at Amy and I was like, yo, imagine an alien came down
Oh, yeah.
with no knowledge of Earth, saw that, and thought, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
There's so many things that go on Earth that I feel like an alien would be like, this
They
is
just would
the
not get.
weirdest thing
Right.
ever.
Yeah.
Like here, we think they're going to be weird, but they probably think we're nuts.
Oh, yeah.
It's very
Because, I mean,
interesting.
all right, so imagine an alien being is about as many times smarter than us as we are than a cat, okay? The alien will probably see humanity and animal kind as a lot more equal than we see ourselves to animals.
Yeah, probably.
So we would just be to them the asshole animal.
Yeah.
Like you gotta get rid of these guys. They're fucking up the environment.
Why do
okay?
they hate each other so much?
Yeah,
they,
right.
they slaughter the smaller ones and sell them.
Well,
So, yeah.
this is so weird how, we're assuming, that an alien species would be smarter than us, which I feel like, is the biggest assumption. Like,
Right.
in movies and this and that, they're like, the genius race, just like way more intelligent.
Right.
But meanwhile, I don't know, there could be aliens out there that are complete savages.
That's
that
true,
we're
but they
not
would have
even-
had to have gotten here by mistake, though.
True, how they got
Right,
here
yeah.
would mean that,
Right. So imagine they're just some fucking idiot aliens trapped in a comet, right? And they're like, you just heard like whoa, you know, and they land here, the comet cracks open, and they're here just a bunch of idiots, right? But in the case that aliens purposely come here, they kind of have to be smarter than us, right?
You're right,
Like
you're
those
right.
motherfuckers I saw coming down, they were smart because no one saw them but me and Laura. Okay,
The two other smarty pants.
the two others. Now, do you guys have any other supernatural experiences?
Well, I'm wondering if this like kickstarts anything for you guys. I don't think for me, but I was recently watching a video by Hannah Hart, who's a YouTuber, and
Love
now
Hannah
she's
Hart.
on
Shout out.
like Food Network. Yeah, she's awesome. And she was telling a story.
I saw
Yeah,
this.
you might have saw this. Yeah,
Break it down for
I
Amy in
can't
the audience.
like recount it perfectly, but it's something like she went to an event in a different town or wherever, and she had sunglasses there. She has pictures of her at interviews there and everything with these sunglasses, and she lost them there. And her and Grace Helbig, another fellow YouTuber, knew about it. They were like, oh, fuck, we lost the sunglasses. And then when Hannah came home, she got into her car, and her sunglasses were, like, in her car. And she was like, how would that happen? Like, I didn't have my car with
The
me.
first time she got in her car.
Yeah, like she didn't have her car with her this whole time, and then she texted Grace and was like, guess where my sunglasses are? They're like here in the town that we're currently in. Like, how could that be if we have pictures of me with the sunglasses on when we were at this
That
event?
is
weird.
So interesting to me.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
does that make you guys think of something like losing something and then finding them in like a really weird place where you're like, what
That gave me the
brought
chills.
this here?
That's
Exactly.
So cool.
It hasn't happened to me at all.
Did she have that pair of glasses twice for
Nope.
whatever reason?
No,
That
that's
was
what
part of
she.
the story, yeah.
That she tried to explain that she was like,
Like
Yeah.
she bought, like, you know, sometimes you have two pairs of like almost identical
no,
glasses.
she like purposely said like this was her only pair of even I think
and
glasses
you
in
saw
general
the
or something.
pictures, and
Yeah.
you saw the pictures.
Yeah,
Yes.
she posted them up and
Yes.
everything.
Get out. of
Crazy,
here.
right?
And-
It's like her fairy godmother saved her.
It's true.
Her fashion sunglasses for
She
her.
made a point that she isn't a sunglasses person. That this was her first like pair that she was
Yeah.
rocking with. So I think two things.
You should see my face right now, everyone.
Amy's
Whoever's
shook.
here. I'm shook.
I think that there's the life is okay explanation, and then there's the shit is fucked up explanation. The life
What if
is
she has like a stalker?
no, I don't think that's
No,
possible.
well, she said
because they
how
would have to
could-
get into the car.
Yeah, she said how would
Exactly.
they get into her
How
car?
could they get into the car though?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You should see my cat
You
right
should
now.
see
by the
Neil.
way.
He's
Neil's
twisting
hamming
around,
it up.
belly up. All right, so the life is okay explanation is that Hannah has to be wrong. She had to have had the
know,
glasses.
right?
She had to have.
Yeah.
And someone had to have given her a second pair.
I mean,
something.
she runs My Drunk Kitchen. Let's just say
It's
she
true.
was wasted.
It's true.
She was too drunk to
Maybe she
remember.
booped her way into
Maybe
oblivion.
They were,
And
maybe they were in her like handbag and she couldn't find them for whatever reason to save her life. It was in like a pocket of her handbag that she didn't look in. Then they fell into that spot when she put her handbag on the seat.
no, because watch.
And then she saw them and was like,
Wait
oh,
until
fuck.
you hear this.
Wait
Amy.
this. Wait
I'm
for
like
this.
racking my brain right
Wait
now.
for this. Hannah didn't find them in the car. There's a compartment above the car
Like a
that,
sunglass.
that you have to
Yep.
press, and the sunglasses present themselves.
Yes.
So
They
those
were
motherfuckers
presented-
were in there.
Yeah, from the heavens.
yes.
Like,
So either Hannah is totally wrong and misremembers, which I don't think that's the case,
That can't be.
or option two,
Especially talking with Grace about it too.
right?
yeah.
Option two, we are in a world of splintered realities.
Parallel
Exactly.
universes,
Parallel
bro.
universes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole
The
conversation going
upside
on.
down.
Ooh. That's the whole conversation going on with the Berenstein versus Berenstein Bears.
Oh my gosh.
But the whole shit about how there isn't a movie where Sinbad is a genie.
All those things. Yeah.
Yeah, what's that called? The Mandela effect.
Yes, that's what it's
Remember that guy? Pat and I know someone who is super into that, who was telling us about it like it's what he like lives by.
Oh, he believes in some other shit though too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this guy Amy's talking about, this conspiracy blah, this conspiracy theorist believes in a lot of stuff. But yeah, so I think that we're living in some kind of splintered reality, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's incredibly believable to me.
Yes. And see, this is the kind of conspiracy that I can just dive in balls deep, because the other kind of conspiracy is the one that influences voters to vote for hate. And that's the one that stops being fun. But the stuff that doesn't influence voters or radicalize people into hatred, that's the kind of conspiracy that I can fuck with, okay? And yeah, I think we can dive into the questions now. We have a few questions from our audience, unless anyone else has any supernatural ideas to throw in here.
Not that I can think of right now.
Yeah, not right now. I mean, real quick, when we were first talking, well, like, I do think, like, animals. I just said like so many times. Sorry, guys. But I think
when we were
animals.
listening to the last episode, remember?
Yeah. I think animals sometimes maybe tune into ghosts or something in a room.
absolutely.
People
I
say
think-
even kids, like, anything
Yeah.
more innocent or
Anything
younger.
that hasn't been like taught a subconscious way by society to like knock that down and be like, no, that can't be it.
Yeah.
Like kids and animals.
Yeah, there's times where, like, I've had pets just staring at certain areas of the house or walls, and you're like, what's there? Or
Right.
I mean, I'm sure people have even had dogs like bark at nothing or this or that, but I feel like they might know
And when you
something.
go up to someone who doesn't have a great vibe, like with your dog, and your dog doesn't like them, you gotta trust that.
Yeah,
That dog knows some shit.
Yeah, they can tell, you know?
definitely creepy.
Yeah, our cats have at least 2 different occasions just freaked the fuck out all at once out of nowhere. And it could be a situation where, like, Odo felt, we have 5 cats.
Or like a clink of the fork in the sink
Yeah.
will freak one of them out.
And then when one just does the whole, like, directly up cat jump, the rest just freak out, run.
Oh my gosh.
Possible.
Odo has like bounced off the wall like 5 feet off the ground.
He doesn't, Odo doesn't react calmly to
Crazy.
distress.
It's like supernatural.
A
Speaking of,
supernatural.
it's in line with the episode, Odo's movements during his freakouts.
Here we go, you guys.
Okay, questions.
That summarizes the supernatural portion of our podcast. I hope that you're all thoroughly freaked out, or maybe you're gonna leave this thinking
if
that
you
we're
want
all
to email
idiots.
us,
Like maybe.
can people email us?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so if
Ooh, yeah.
I'll give an
tell
email.
us your
Yeah, tell us your
stories.
like supernatural experiences if you have any, so then we could read them.
Yeah, good plan. Spacebetweenent@gmail.com. If you have supernatural experiences, hit us up there.
I would like for like, you know, every time we have like a concept or something and you think, ooh, like you want to talk to us, like we're your friends, do it.
Yeah.
Because then
We'll be your
we'll totally
friends.
share about it. We'll read them and this and that. So anyway, all right, moving on. Oh, what's the email address? You said? Did you say it?
Yeah, spacebetweenent@gmail.com.
All right, cool.
All right, so our first question comes from Lindsay Santos. She asks, if you wanted your fans to know one important thing, whether it's advice, a daily mantra, motto, or a quote, etc., what would you say?
Ooh, I love this question. I just made myself a daily mantra recently.
What is it?
Remember? Enoch?
Oh, yeah, talk about it.
that?
Talk about
Okay,
it.
so recently at work, I got a new job. It's not a new job, it's a new location.
At Amy's day job, yeah.
Yeah, my day job. It's a new location, so it's new to me with new coworkers, and it's super fun. Everyone there is quite amazing in their own way, and I love them. And I find myself being mad at myself sometimes because I'm very competitive, and I'll like be competitive, and then I'll be kind of bratty, and then I will go home and realize like, why am I being a brat? It's really not worth it. And so anyways, I wrote on my wrist the last couple times at work, INAC, which stands for it's not a competition, because for whatever reason, like if I'm put at like a register when I'd rather be making drinks and someone else is making drinks, I find myself like all pissed off at them when it has nothing to do with them, has nothing to do with anything. And so then I just look down on my wrist, Enoch, and then I realize, oh, you know what? It's not a competition. And then I'll just, you know, take a breath And so I feel like that's a good mantra if you're someone like me who is easily excited and competitive.
That's great.
Yeah, that is good.
Thank you.
Anything from you? Shannon?
I don't know. You tell me yours. I can't think of what mine would be right now.
Mine, my process in both life and creativity, it's kind of hard to boil down into a phrase or an idea because so much of the way I handle my life is it's shaped around my OCD, right?
True.
So I have this very long, comprehensive document of what I do every day. Okay, and that sometimes gets in the way of what I'm supposed to do because I get obsessive about what I'm going to do versus what I'm doing now. So I think that the advice that I tell myself and that I would say is good to pass off to our listeners is, well, it's great to plan ahead. Think about now too. Life is happening right now. Live it and do the work now. Just dive in now.
Sounds good.
That's good. Do you want to add anything or just go to the next one?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like there's just too many thoughts for me to put it into.
It's hard to get one solid.
Yeah, like
quote,
a solid phrase at least. Of course, there's the typical like live in the present type of things like that. Right. But yeah, I don't know. I would have to sit on this one for a while
it's rough.
and think about what
It's a good question though because it helps you start to think about what would be a mantra.
Yeah.
You know, for the day, if anything.
Yeah.
Matt Ruiz asks. I struggle with that one. ASKS.
Asks.
Yeah, I have a few words that my tongue struggles to form around. One being one of the main characters from our graphic novel, Destiny New York, now on Amazon. The character's name is Lilith. Lilith. That double L is kind of hard for my tongue to catch up with itself. But all right, Matt Ruiz's question is, favorite indie comic titles?
Ooh.
Oh.
Strangers in Paradise.
Strangers in Paradise, such a good one, by Terry Moore, who I feel is perhaps the best artist
and an excellent writer
in the history of the whole medium to me.
Oh my goodness.
I think he's...
It moves me.
It moves me too. His art and writing is so in sync and so beautiful that...
He also wrote and illustrates his own stuff. Rachel Rising.
Absolutely. He's done a superhero comic.
Itches.
Amy is just scratching my own feet, thinking that she's scratching hers.
I'm sorry.
He's done a superhero comic called Echo, a horror comic called Rachel Rising. Is currently writing a story called Motor Girl, and is returning to his classic hit, Strangers in Paradise, in 2018.
Super stoked on that.
So excited.
And we've met him at Comic-Cons because he is adorable. No offense. I don't know if or why you would take offense to adorable, but he is so amazing because he's always super chill. And
very kind, he seems.
Yep, he always has like just the right size table for his stuff. He's not like over the top. Do you know what I mean? And then when you speak to him, he's very nice. He's very polite. He's like he's never gotten a big head, but to me, he's so good.
So good.
So anyway.
Other standouts for me right now, Sunstone by...
That's what I was going to say.
I just stole Shannon's goddamn thunder. I'll let you talk about what it is, though.
That's a good one.
And Monstrous. Monstrous, I don't have my notes in front of me to say... who it's by, because I'm answering this question off the cuff. I know it's by Marjorie Liu. I hope I'm not mispronouncing that name. And I do not know the name of the artist, but it's beautiful. I'm actually cracking into a read-through of the first 2 volumes for an article that I'm doing. I just started, and it's absolutely breathtaking. It's gorgeous. So... by the end of my read, I'll know who it is because I'll be deep into that research, the article, reading about their process.
An official
I found
fan.
who it's
Official fan.
It's drawn by Sana Takada.
Yeah, there we go. Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
Google
Thanks,
search.
Shannon.
Nailed
Yeah,
it.
no problem.
Nice.
Gotta get that plug
Gotta
in.
get that shout out.
Yeah,
plug.
that shout out.
And Shannon, how about you reclaim your stolen thunder?
Go for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, to jump off Monsters real quick, I actually did only read the first volume, and the art is incredibly beautiful, but man, that story's dark. Like, I almost I almost couldn't do it at one point. But I mean, like, it's great, but
Yeah.
I wasn't even expecting it to be that dark. But yeah, you were saying Sunstone. Who's that?
Is that Sejic?
Yes.
It's yeah, but who's it written by?
It's the same guy, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's all by I feel so bad. His name is very difficult to say.
Stefan?
It's Stepan Sejic.
Yeah.
Stepan Sejic.
Yeah.
And I've worked with him. He's done covers for books I've written before. He's great.
I
But
love his work.
he is just one of those names.
The series is has a lesbian couple, and then they explore different BDSM together, but it's written in a very just comforting way. Like it's a mutual respect and everything. It, I think, gets
It's
rid
not
of
in
some
like
of
a raunchy way.
yeah, it gets rid of some of that taboo of it being
Right.
such a, you know, underground naughty thing or something. It's just
And
like
almost like gross.
yeah, it's like they're doing this together, you know, in a very consensual way.
Right.
Yeah, it's a sweet story though.
That's a great. It's sweet. Yeah.
It's sweet.
It's
It
sweet,
honestly is.
fun, cute, empathetic.
Yeah, you don't really feel. Yeah, you don't feel like that much of a sexual thing going on when you're reading it. Instead, you're like, each person's making each other happy and they're in love, and it's a sweet story.
That's so cool to be able to take a BDSM concept and write a sweet romantic story about
yeah,
it.
that's
Definitely.
definitely really cool. And I was gonna say too, I really liked, all ages wise, Lumberjanes and Nimona,
Oh, yeah.
which are both have Noelle Stevenson.
What was the second one you said?
Nimona.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which started out, I believe, as a web comic, and then
Yes.
she made it into a full printed book.
So good.
Yeah, very quirky, fun, badass, and then still had a storyline that kept going that was interesting and a little heartwarming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Big fan of that one.
definitely.
That might have been my
Nice.
favorite single graphic novel of last year.
I actually think it might be. Yeah, mine too.
Nice.
Real good. And the
Good
last
question, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah. Last question is for me.
Lloyd.
Question from Eric Thomas. I think I remember you answering it in one of your Kickstarter Facebook Live videos, but I'd be curious to hear about how you thought of and started Destiny New York. All right, so Destiny New York is the title that launched our company. And the reason that I thought of it was because I was exclusive as a staff writer and editor at Zenescope for a long time. And I was writing a title called Robin Hood. And on Robin Hood, I got to do a lot of cool things that I loved. But I was treating the book as if it was creator-owned, as if it were creator-owned. And the drawback of that, well, the positive of that is that I feel that readers could see my passion for the characters. But the drawback of that was that when I was given notes by the guys who own Zenescope, Joe Brusha, namely, who owns the character Robin Hood, Zenescope's version at least, even if I disagreed with the notes, even if I knew in my heart that, I mean, I created Robin Hood, you know, for Zenescope, that character. I was the only person who had ever written her. But Joe created the concept. Joe is the one who hired me initially to write Robin Hood, Joe and Ralph Tedesco. So when Ralph and I feel like Ralph saw kind of between me and Joe, but Joe had a very drastically different vision for Robin than I had. And Joe had the advantage there of owning the character. So when I had an idea that
And the
Joe
company.
and the company, when I had an idea that Joe didn't like, I couldn't pursue it because he was the one to say no, you know?
And you would have fans that would wonder, hey, why didn't you go this direction? And you'd say, hey, I wanted to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I found that I was treating a book that wasn't mine as if it was mine. And that has started to me as a strength and had become later on a weakness because I realized I'd been putting so much into this book that I had nothing that was mine. And that made me want to create something that was, something that I wouldn't do at Zenescope. And there was an artist, Manuel Pretano, who I had worked with on a series called Goddess Inc. I was the editor, and the writer was Latoya Morgan, who is a screenwriter for AMC's Turn, Shameless, and now she is going to be writing a short story for us in our graphic novel Modern Dread. But after being Manuel's editor on Goddess Inc., I saw how fast he was, how good he was, and I was talking with him about some ideas, and the idea of Destiny New York came to me kind of fully formed. I just sent him the idea. It was a bit more magical focused back then. It was about a prophecy school, a school for prophecy kids, where the lead character was a girl whose prophecy had already been completed, and it was about following her journey, and it really focused on the idea of former prophecy kids as this world's version of child celebrities. And that was the focus, but when I started to write, it became very much more about the characters. And that happened, I believe, when Manuel sent me the cover, which was, now it's the back cover of Volume 1, just Logan's face. And when I pretty much met Logan face to face, I thought, oh,
that's the coolest.
I know this.
To actually see her come to life.
Exactly. To see her and to think, well, there's a story, right? Mm-hmm. And I've put a lot of my own life into Destiny New York, and
I remember when you first started showing me images that Manuel was making, and that was years ago. How long do you think it was until
years.
you actually
wow
got it made?
I had the idea for it in California, so I think I may have first contacted him at the very start of 2014, maybe.
And it's 2017.
2017 now. But I believe I had the concept for it in 2013.
Wow.
So
it just proves that everything writing-wise or creating-wise is years in the making.
Oh, yeah,
Just like,
absolutely.
Yeah, people making music or anything, like they start early and it takes
Absolutely.
a very long time.
I have ideas that are much older than Destiny New York as well. Some that I'll do and some that time has kind of just taken. And that's okay. But Destiny New York, I knew from conception that it was an idea that I had to run with. And
we're glad that you did.
I'm so glad I did. I love the characters that we've built together. I love that we've created a little company off of this, and that we're starting to do this now.
Exactly.
It all began with Destiny New York, and here we are now doing something very different, but I think that's something that's going to be fun in a very different, cool way.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think it's time to wrap up, you guys.
All right.
This has been the Space Between podcast. You can follow us at Space Between Ent on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you have questions that you want answered, you can hit us up there or email us at spacebetweenent@gmail.com. So again, thank you for listening, and bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.